Hello everyone, my name is Clancy and welcome to the Clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor by smashing the like button because the algorithm gets triggered every time you click the like button so it can fetch us more members of the clan. Anyways, guys, I'm still at work and I'm standing. Let's go to the North High Court and talk about not the case itself, but the attitude of the judge. I mean, is he struggling with bipolar disorder or is old age? What's going on? One day he's acting like a judge. The next he comes back and acts like Judge Ratha that we know. He's so destructive. He is a prosecutor. The judge is in the arena. And today, let's talk about Advocate Baloyi, who seemingly came to court to do what? To just sit and relax and having the judge, well, basically the judge has his back. It's like, well, when I sit down, I got your back. I am going to speak on your behalf. I am going to be the prosecutor. I'm the one who's going to rebut anything that the defense puts on the table. We've seen it with Numalo yesterday. We've seen it with now Unshololo this morning. The judge is not having it with Mshololo, with everything that Advocate Mshololo is putting on the table. So much so that I think he's almost chipping away her confidence. But I am liking how Advocate Mshololo is standing her ground against the judge, because the judge also, I think he may have made a resolution this morning that, oh, Mshololo is going to take the floor. I am going after her with everything that I've got, including the power I have as a judge. And in Advocate Mshololo kind of like saw it coming. That is why I think she's also prepared, because she's quite assertive in the way she is responding to the judge. But now, my problem that I am having is that the judge is so disrespectful towards the defense, so much so that even Mr. Gouws, the witness, has jumped in and got the confidence to disrespect Advocate Mshololo by answering even before Mr. Mshololo asked her questions. Why? Because the judge was the first one to answer before he even heard the question from Mr. Mshololo. And you're wondering, what exactly is going on? Oh no, we already seen what's going on. What's going on in this court is that by hook or crook, these 5 men that are accused of killing Senzo Meyiwa must be found guilty. And anything that suggests that the state is slacking or has lost this case, it's going to be rebutted by the judge. And he will go throwing authorities and case laws at the defense just to subdue them or tame them. And sometimes they kind of like get tamed. I was watching Advocate Numalo, who gets a little bit tamed every time Judge Ratha comes with an authority of some sort, and he would actually recite it without realizing that the judge has already played with his mind. And Advocate Mshololo is not playing that game at all. She is not having it. She's like, I'm standing my ground, even. And I love the fact that she's putting everything on record. And that is ticking off the judge. It's ticking off Baloyi as well, whom sometimes will stand up and object. And you're like, sir, what are you objecting? Sit down. The judge has got your back. He's doing your job today. As a matter of fact, he's been doing your job for the longest time that we've known you and the judge. I mean, come on. All of these things are canvassed way before they sit down and in a courtroom, because they know who is the strongest lawyer and who's not, and what according to some people says there's a strong lawyer and a weak lawyer. So let's go with that line of thoughts that probably Mr. Mshololo together with Mr. Ngome Zulu are seen to be the strongest. But I think this time around, all the defense team, they are very strong this time around, and they are not playing games. They are standing their ground against this prosecutor, Judge Ratha. It is so interesting what we are witnessing is a miscarriage of justice, of course, even though this case has been lost a long time ago by the state. The state has failed to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. And now we are having cell phone numbers that belong to us. I am still of the view, my own opinion, by the way, that these numbers, these cell phones, while the accused were busy putting together probably their defense or wondering what is going on, these investigating officers that were busy making calls to each other. That is why I feel like the defense needs to make an application or get a 205 to go to these service providers and not get the cell phone, but get what the conversations were. And let me tell you something. If they do that, we are going to hear voices that do not belong to any of the 5 men that are accused of killing Senzo Mewa. We are probably going to hear the voice of somebody who is an investigator or investigators. Somebody even reminded me yesterday that, remember, I was reading the comment section of the previous video. It said, remember Ndanzi once mentioned that he would hear his cell phone ringing in the pocket of Mukhanu. And Mukhanu would actually answer it. Remember that testimony? Or maybe it's something that we were dreaming. But I remember the testimony when Danza said his cell phone, he would hear it ring in the pocket of Mukhanu, and Mukhanu would actually answer it. So get those records. I'm not talking the what cell phone number, content. No, we want it's the tangibility, the content of those phone calls. I bet they are not of the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Mewa. So, because this exercise does not require money and all of that stuff, just get a 205 from a magistrate and go to the network service providers and get the tangibility, the content of what was in those conversations. It's either there's total silence for a number of minutes so that it sounds and looks like it is a phone call on record now that host is reading and says, now, the duration of these calls were between this minute and this minute, somewhere few seconds. Trust and believe me, if they go and get those from the archives and we listen to what is in there, I bet there is either nothing, it's just dead space, so that they bring the record of these phone calls to each other. Now, we're on to them. We might not be lawyers, guys. We might not be judges and legal experts, but you are thinking and you are listening. Even right now, Advocate Mshololo is trying to show Mr. Gouws. And I'm beginning to think that Mr. Gouws himself was probably misled into believing that all of this is new and whatever you are basically picking up from where Steyn left. That is why he is now saying, no, me, I was brought a cell phone in a sealed bag, and yet we were told by Steyn that he did this, unsealed it, etc., and so on. As you can hear, they are back, and I also need to get back to work, guys. We'll talk about this a little bit later because it's happening in this courtroom. The judge is the prosecutor today. Just know that. Anyways, guys, we'll see each other much a little bit later. Bye.